And hello there, guys, and welcome. Just let me pause this a second. There we go. And the thing is, well, I got to laugh at the. Yeah, I mean, not like you get like loads of people. They complain about you and they say to you, "Oh, why are you not doing this? Why ain't you? You know, what I mean, got a job and all of that." And let me show you something, guys. Let me show you something, right? Let me show you something. We'll look into this picture in a minute, but what we'll do is we'll go into this for a second. I need to close some stuff down, and let me close this down so we free up some. Oh, click the wrong one. Click the wrong one. That's the trouble when I mean, when I had my other computer, this was not a problem. I didn't have no lag issues, nothing. It was just like bang, done. You know what I mean? But since I've had to put things in storage, and you know, I mean, and on the 8th of July, I'm being evicted because of a hacker, stealing like loads of money. You know, what I mean, for me, and put me in like loads of debt, and it's made like this last year and a half. Yeah, I mean, a right bugger and so forth. And the funny thing is, right, this morning I sent you this morning from Ben. You know what I mean, that he's had to chase people up. I've had to chase people up because people are not telling us anything. You know, I mean, normally when people know things, they should, phone Ben or me straight away. You know, and say, "Hey, this has just happened. You know, you should know this information." But no, it doesn't work like that. And so I'm going to show something, guys, right now. Right, I'm going to show you guys something and everything. And I think this does need to be addressed as well. What I'm about to say as well. Huh? Says here, right? I got you guys. OBS is still currently active. All streams recordings will be shut down. Huh? Don't know what that's about. But anyway, let's go across here, guys. All right. Go on. Go to the next one. Why is it so slow? Wait, let's take out. I was going to draw on stream, guys, but looks like I may have to close that as well. Right, let's show you guys this. Oh, on my camera. There you go. Oh, there you go. I've got a bit more wiggle room. All right, so we'll come to here. Right. I've been dealing with a lot of bullshit, as some of you may know, and stuff like that. And and the funny thing is, I mean, when I mean, because as some of you heard me say on the phone earlier, and I was speaking to the lovely lady from Housing Options, where I was like slightly hinting towards money doesn't make you, I mean, more entitled over somebody else and all of that and so forth. It doesn't. And I think as well, I mean, I've like talked in the past, I mean, on other shows, I mean, and also podcasts that I've done on other platforms as well, where, I mean, where people have said in the past where they go, right, hard work, I mean, I mean, hard work brings you this and all that and so forth. It doesn't. I mean, I've pointed out it's awareness that, I mean, that brings the money and so forth and all of that, because like I pointed out in a previous show going back years, I mean, you could be working very, 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 very hard and all of that and so forth. But if nobody knows you're working very hard and building something and you've got something to sell and all of that and so forth, then nobody's going to buy from you. All right. So this is why I laugh at those that say, oh, well, that one's not working and all that. You know what I mean? And, and the thing is, as well, you know what I mean? If you're judging somebody by the fact that they're not working because they haven't got any money, and yeah, I mean, and yet they got stuff for you to buy, then what is it that's stopping you then from buying from them? Think about it, right? I mean, so if you, I mean, because that's one thing. I mean, it's it's like when I wrote an article years ago, and I did like the 4 levels of work, and and some people did get upset over it because some felt I was pointing out some of the insecurities in them, and I was like, I don't give a shit. I mean, this needs to be talked about. And where I was showing 2 levels of unemployed people, and I was showing 2 levels of people, I mean, by status, meaning of job or work and all that. And so I basically pointed out you could have, I start off with like, you could have one person in a job, I mean, they go around doing things and all that, and they get paid for that, what I mean? Plus, you could have somebody that is unemployed, going around doing things, still doing the same things you would in a workplace or a job place and all that and so forth. But yet they're not getting paid. But yet that person's getting discriminated because of stereotypes and this, that, and everything else, right? And then I I take it to another level. Then I look at the other one. Somebody else could be in that same job or wherever. Does absolutely fuck all. What I mean? Gets wages and all that and so forth, but yet mocks somebody that is, according to status levels, status way of looking at things, unemployed and all that and so forth, right? And yet they mock those people and all that and so forth and everything, has a go at them and everything. Well, all they've done is just gone into a building. Yeah, I mean, on paper it says, "Oh, I got this job and all that," and according to the job, I mean, the description and all that, it says that they do this and that. When you look at them at reality, they're probably doing fuck all. I mean, and then and then you look at the other unemployed type person then as well. I mean, the other unemployed person, I mean, the ones that brings the stereotype for the overall, that doesn't give a shit in that they're taking money from other people, I mean, from taxes, this, that, and everything else, and they're not even trying to get off it and all that and so forth, right? And I said, and I put in it, doesn't C and D sound the same? I mean, so The employed person that does fuck all is the same as the unemployed person that does fuck all. But one, because they're in the job, people don't demonize, but yet they will always public and will always demonize anyone that is unemployed. You notice that? Yeah. So, so basically, I pointed out that A and B, in other words, because I put it, I did it that way. A for unemployed, A for employed, B for unemployed, and then C for employed, and then D for employment. Two different, I mean, with groupings going on. You know what I mean? And I was showing that you could have somebody in employment and out of employment doing the same things, but one is getting praise because they're going by, the so-called normal perceptions. But and because people go by titles and all of that and so forth, you have this demonization if you mention you're unemployed. And then you got somebody like me that comes along that doesn't fit in any of those categories. And I tell you why. Because I do put in the article that I wrote all those years ago before my site got taken away. Basically, if you know the system itself, the establishment and all of that is going after children and all of that and so forth, right? And the money funds it and all of that, then you don't even attempt to try and support it. Why should you work and let your efforts support a child abusing establishment? So there are people like me who don't want to be part of this system at all. But I don't go in depth at all in the article about that. I just say there are people that don't even support the system at all because it should die for the harm it's causing. I said that over 15 years ago. You know what I mean? And you look at the system right now, the amount of harm it is doing to many people. You know what I mean? And the thing is as well, you can blame illegal immigrants left, right, and centre. People of the UK, you can blame them as much as you want, but it ain't gonna solve the problem because if the illegal immigrants were not coming here, we still got the cause to look at. And end of the day, and that is, this attitude of, well, I'm doing it, so they must do it, and I'm like, no, that's the attitude we've got in this country. Well, I'm doing it, so he should do it, or well, she's not doing it, but I am. That's a childish mentality. Because think about it. When you listen to people and goes, "Well, I pay taxes, so you." I'm like, I look at them and I'm like, right in. Are you a grown up or are you a child? And they're like, what do you mean? Are you a grown up or are you a child? And they go, I'm a grown up. I pay taxes. No, you're not. So you're a child then. And they're like, no, I'm not. I'm like, who tells you to pay taxes? You know what I mean? I don't tell you to pay taxes. Yeah, I don't expect you to, get robbed by governments and establishments and all of that and authorities and that and so forth, and then have that money then to be spent into unlawful wars and all of that and everything else. I don't expect that money to be used to silence people that are speaking out against corruption that the system is heavily involved in. The people and all of that that's within the governments and the political parties and all that. We all know they're part of corruption, but yet you want other people to pay taxes towards criminals. Let's call them for what they are. Yourself and many others would say they are corrupt and all about what they're doing. And not most of the time people go, yeah, they are. Then why are you paying their money towards criminals then? Why are you paying money, through taxes to those that will keep doing criminal behavior to you, me, and everybody else, and bring violence to me and you and everybody else through their lapdogs and everything. And also they use then, places to silence people for good. I mean, and they go, oh, no, 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 it's not like that. I go, how do you know? Have you checked? Have you actually, gone digging? Have you, I mean, and they're like, no, no, no. Then why do you wish violence on one another? And they're like, I don't. And then yes, you do, because something that doesn't go against what you believe in and all of that. Someone like you would say, hey, silence that person and all that. And when you sort of like read what's in the mainstream news or so forth, do you stop to think, hold on a minute, is that really going on? And most of the time people go, no. Then how do you know then what you're reading and so forth is actually what's going on? Was you there at the time? Was you, on the ground zero level and everything else? Then how do you know it really happened that way? Uh, 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 um, and it just is. And that's not a proper answer though, is it? It just is. And then you sort of like then say to them, you know what I mean? I go off and I check our sources. I do go and check the alternative media, but I'm not saying that they 100% right or wrong. But still, we need to have a look into our sources, don't we, to make sure and inform our own opinions and stuff like that with our own investigations, because we know the truth cannot be told. It can only be realized by doing deep investigations. Am I right or wrong in that? But even when you're like looking for the information and evidence and facts and all that going on, sometimes you may not find the evidence or facts at all in that area. So why are you then so quick to judge when people like myself and all that are still looking into things and still have not formulated a conclusion on many areas yet? But yet, you, part of the society and masses who bows down to those in government, are so quick to judge and quickly to demonize, to throw violence using statisms and also the tools within, authorities and all that, to punish people that don't think the way you think. Oh, we don't do that. We don't do that. I'm like, how sure are you? Like now on the news, you hear this thing about Hamas and all that, which mainstream media in the West is actually being controlled by Israel and many other things. But yeah, because we hear in the mainstream media, or Hamas must be causing this and all that. How do you know? Have you gone and checked for yourself? Have you actually spoken to Palestinians and so forth? Have you spoken to people from the Middle East at all? No, 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 no. I mean, the news don't lie. Are you sure about that? What about the towers on days of 9/11 with World Trade Center 7? You know what I mean? Where a BBC reporter said it already collapsed, the Salomon Brothers building, and yet it was still standing behind them. And so you think the mainstream media and all that, the news and all that, don't go along with these agendas and so forth. They haven't got anything to gain. Well, that's wrong, because news reporters still got to pay their bills and all that. So by them going along with the agendas and so forth, they still going to have wages. Because they will be keeping their jobs because they've gone with the cover up, because they've got to feed themselves as well. So when you look at things like that, so how do you know then? I mean, from the days of 9/11, that the ploy that's gone on is actually Israel is actually the one that's benefited from 9/11, 7/7, and all the other stuff. And your taxes is actually funded it. That's not the case. Are you sure about that? You know what I mean? Because people like you who demonize the unemployed and all of that, who put stereotypes out there, are the same type of people that put stereotypes of those out in the Middle East and around the world, all because you've read a newspaper or you've seen it from the news outlets on TV and also on the radio and stuff like that you've listened to. Have you done any of your own, grey matter investigation? In other words, thinking, get the thought process going, and start asking questions. Which asking questions is the true basis of science as well, by the way, as well as doing private investigation work. Oh, what's wrong? Is your brain now sort of like having the chains slowly coming off it, because now you're starting to probably realize you've been lied to, and you might have to walk a lonely path, like many of us researchers and investigators and whistleblowers and all have had to. And you're probably scared that you might have the full weight of the authority establishment coming down on you, police arresting you because you're telling the truth and exposing the system that threatens their jobs, which then they don't have a wage package, so they demonize you instead of standing up for what's right and what's truthful and helping people to be free. Instead, they rather have the shackles, on the people, keep people with the comfort of lies and deceits and all that, to keep this monolith of corruption going, so people like you can still have your bellies fed while the rest of us are being punished for just standing up and telling the truth and trying to expose the PDF world that these corrupt assholes have brought upon us and brought upon the youngsters. Oh, oh well, I've killed another one. Whoops. Getting them tried to think. You know what I mean? How many of you have been through that process with people that, saying, "Oh, no, 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 what you look into is just conspiracy theory and tinfoil and all of that and everything else." Yeah, I have to. And guys, that was not written down. That was spur of the moment. But anyway. So yeah, guys. So the reason I brought all that up, I've got one person, right, um, locally to me that says, "Well, well, I think he's unemployed. I don't think he's this, that, and so forth." No, I'm not unemployed. Because unemployed would suggest I'm not working. I'm always working. Yeah, I mean, what he should have said. Yeah, I mean, he's not trying. He's not trying to be a slave for 10 Downing Street. He's not trying to be a slave for the royal family. He's not trying to be a slave for these bastards. Because you're only truly free when you're not paying taxes. Think about that. Think about that. You're free once you're not being robbed through the taxation program. The parasites in Parliament, the parasites, the royal families. I mean, and the thing is, as well, you got to be a dickhead to call yourself king and queen over other people, over other men and women. Think about it. They're not a god or anything like that. And yet we got, yeah, I mean, it'd be like a neighbour coming up to you and saying, "Today I'm not going to call myself a queen or a king. You must bow down to me." And then you turn around to him and say, "Shut up." You know what I mean? You may be a king or queen to your hubby, to your hubby, or you know what I mean, or your wife. You know what I mean? But if a stranger or your neighbor or whatever comes to you and says, "Today I'm your king. Today I'm your queen," you turn on to him and go, "You should be in a fucking mental asylum, bitch." You know what I mean? I'm surprised the Mental Health Institute haven't gone up to King Charles and all of that and so forth, Charlie boy. I said, "Hey, in a mental asylum, you're not king over us. That is, projection. You know what I mean? I want to be king, so I'm going to project it over you." Or, I mean, and these people, got in these positions, like, their families have killed other families. So to be a king, that is saying their family line has killed people, murderers. You know what I mean? But by saying, I mean, on that version of a king, what I mean, they're admitting they have killed people. They have murdered people. They have lied and cheated and stolen and all that to get where they are. And you got these morons that say to you, "You must follow whatever the system says." I'm like, no, because to follow the system we've got in place right now, not just UK, in multiple countries around the world, is to say you're happy to go along with liars, cheats, murderers, and much, much more. Parasites and everything else, and slave masters, right? And that's why many of us who are waking up are going, hold on a damn minute. You know what I mean? Because somebody's got to stop the cycles. You know, I mean, somebody's got to stop the looping that's going on. Because when you hear people say, you know, I mean, if you people have said this phrase, it's always been this way. How many of you have heard that? Ask the question, why has it always been this way? Why is it always this way? And the thing is, I can point out to you, it hasn't always been this way. What we've got in the UK and the United States of America, Australia, and so on. Maybe in our lifetime, it's always been this way. But you know, since time began, no, it hasn't. Since this world got created, no, it hasn't. So even taxes is a new thing, and we need to have a look at. You know what I mean, what was the true intention of taxes? Because it is being used on so many levels to steal from the public and to keep certain people in positions of power. And and if taxes were so great, why do they scare people with threatening behavior? Think about it when you look at the whole thing properly. You know what I mean? Is there letters that when you turn a certain age, when you go into a job, that says, "Hi there, we just found out you're in a job. Would you like to pay taxes or not? The choice is up to you. Have a nice fluffy day." Or is it? Yeah, I mean, and if you miss a payment or two, we've seen you haven't paid your taxes. If you don't pay them by a certain date, you'll be fined or imprisoned. Which one do we get? Is it a freedom of choice to go ahead and pay taxes, or is it threatening behaviour that we demanded to pay? One of them is freedoms. One of them is against somebody's will, slavery. Pick one, A or B. A would be nice, but it's not that one. We go with B, and B is the one that a lot of goes on, and people makes excuses for it. But if we didn't pay this and that, so we wouldn't have these services. Now, yes, you would. Yes, you flipping would. You don't need to be threatened when something's good and honest and all that and so forth. People and it's beneficial. People will pay for it. You don't need to be threatened to pay it. Think about it. Example, right? Computers. How many of you were threatened to go and buy a computer? How many of you were forced to go and get a computer and all that? I mean, I haven't seen somebody come up to me and say, "Oh, you must buy this computer, or I'll blow your flipping brains out." No, because computers are beneficial when they're used properly. You can do your music stuff on it. You can do your essays on it. You can print posters and you know. But when I close the lid down and so forth, and I don't use it for a month or 2 months, let's say, right? I don't see my computer jumping up and going, "Excuse me, you bought me. You haven't used me for 2 months. If you don't flipping use me, I'm going to go back to the manufacturers and say, hey, get this person to pay again. Because it looks like when he paid last time, he used me for a good few months. Get him to pay again, so he uses me again for a good few months." Nah, we don't see that, do we? so, so you got to ask yourself the question: are councils really beneficial? You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, if they have a benefit to them, a true benefit, and all of that, then what is it with the threatening behaviour? and and the violent speech and all that and so forth. You know what I mean? When you listen to MPs and politicians when they say we're going to enforce this and all that, that's not asking. That's not going. Excuse me, would you like to have this? No, it's enforcing. It's like you must comply. No, you know what I mean. If you consented to it, yeah, go ahead, enforce it on those people. You know what I mean. But if you haven't consented to it, then it should not apply to you. Think about it. Look at all these politicians that were on, like, Epstein's Island and all of that and so forth. So if we go by the status quo mentality and a lot of the public that believes in the system and status, so do you want me to support all the politicians then that went on to Epstein's Island and all and so forth? And by paying the taxes, I would be supporting the PDFs. Think about it. Think about it. And for those who don't know what PDFs mean, I'm not on about documents either. I'm on about something else. For those that get it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, why should people be forced to pay into the system that allows people up in the upper echelons to get away with harming children through the PDF ways? Think about it. Because we've got judges that are PDFs, not all, but we've got a percentage. We've got a percentage of security guards. We got a percentage of counsellors that are PDFs. We got a percentage of police. I mean, there'd be a lot, and as I'm saying this, there'd be a percentage of police that are not PDFs that'll be going, yeah, we see them. I mean, even in the military, there's PDFs. I mean, there's PDFs in the Vatican. There's PDFs in the satanic churches. There's PDFs in the synagogue of Satan. There's PDFs in that's hiding under the LGBT groups. There's PDFs in schools. There's PDFs. In libraries. Working in libraries, not all, but there's a percentage. There's, and you got PDFs in the Masonic order. You've got, and yet people go, it's the unemployed's fault. Are you stupid? Are you really that brain dead? A lot of you out there, not all, but a lot of you. Makes you think, doesn't it? But anyway, I created this top, guys, called Brit, which is biometric registration identification tracking for people to buy. You know what I mean? And if I went up to my landlord, I'm not going to say his name because I'm not a dick that way, but if I went up to my landlord and say, hey, you said I was unemployed and all of that. No, I am working. But I'm not working to pay a bunch of corrupt criminal arseholes. There's a difference. The problem is, think about it. Think how much taxes that have been collected over the years and everything, right? And yet we are trillions in debt. Think about that. And the government keeps. Hold on. Oh, shit. That's somebody on my WhatsApp. Somebody's asking me for money, and yet my money's not going to be processed until Monday. And I keep telling them, you know what I mean, my money is not going to be processed until Monday. It's gone in now, it's pending, but it's not going to be processed until Monday. And they're going, can you check now? Can you check now? Can you check now? Can you check now? I'm like, it's not going to process any quicker. You know, I mean, let me just do this for a second, guys. It's not. There you go. I got to change that ringtone. I don't like that one. I like the other one that's on the other phone. You know what I mean? That's my mum's phone that I'm using right there now, guys, as well. Because my other phone's slowly dying, my one. And I bought that for her because the way the system is, you know, I mean, it's like saying, you know what I mean, and the thing is, well, she couldn't move her hands or properly or anything like that, and the system's expecting her to have an account where it's like, you know what I mean, where she's like struggling, and I was like, Mum, we're gonna have to get you a phone and all of that so you can log in to this. Yeah, you know, I mean, because people like myself now, I've got a journal. Yeah, I mean those that are linked with DWP and all that. We've got journals that you got to like send information and all that, and everything else. And I've been trying to get off that, you know, and by creating these online stores and everything else, you know, for years. And and the thing is, I tell people, and I tell family, friends, this, that, and so forth, with everything. You know what I mean, I've had, you know, monitors in the window in the places I've lived as well, advertising. I put posters out advertising what I do, and people just ignore. And that's why I've always said people don't have the right to say that I'm unemployed when I've advertised, put stuff out there, and so forth, and everything else. When I've put in the legwork, you know what I mean, and I'm not blaming on nothing like that either. But you have no right to blame somebody why they're unemployed. You know what I mean? If you know, I mean, when people are not going to hire you, when people are not going to give you money and stuff like that, despite, you know, it's like some of the jobs I've actually been in, they've noticed I'm a hard worker and everything else, and I've done seasonal work. You know what I mean? So at the end of the season, you get laid off, and then you got to go and find some other work. You know what I mean? And and basically, what I've seen is if you don't give people chances, and you don't buy from them and so forth, then you have no right to complain about them because I've bitten my tongue for years and my lip for years, and I thought, you know what, nah, it needs to be fucking said. You know what I mean? And and I've heard some people say this around me and so forth, and and I feel for the younger generation that are entering the job market and so forth. And you've got a lot of companies saying, "Oh, we need people with experience." But the thing is, once the old guard is gone, the older guard and all that have gone, and you're not giving the younger generation any chance of gaining that experience. There's a vacuum there. There's going to be a void there, and so forth. And then you got people like me that looks at the whole situation and think, hold on a minute. If these people are not giving people chances, then you got these other people that are not buying from you. Then you might as well just say, go fuck you all. Because if you want something to build, if you want something to grow, and you want a nation to be strong and all of that and so forth, stop being a stereotype. Stop saying, I say fault, they are fault all the time and so forth. Guess what? I'm going to say it for myself and for all of you out there. It's all our fault what's happening right now. I know a lot of you don't want to hear that, but each and every one of us have dropped the ball on this. What's going on today? Yes, I've spoken out about it. You know what I mean? And other people have spoken out about it and so forth. But still, we did drop the ball as well. Many of us dropped the ball on what we're seeing today. What's rolling out. Yeah, I mean, and with the higher prices going up, and with fuel prices going up, and so forth. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is as well. Let me just make another cup of coffee because my throat is. My God. And I will point something out as well. I mean, I'll go to the toilet in a second as well. Once I pour this, I'll go to the toilet as well. But there's something that you lot say, right, out there. When you hear people like me speaking out, right? You lot use the excuse of because you don't want to face what's really going on. Is stop trying to change the world. Guess what? The world has changed. People within the establishment and the higher hierarchies already changed it, right? That's why we've got all these problems. Okay, we are trying to restore things. There's a difference. We're not trying to change things. We're trying to restore things, right? And like it says in the Bible and everything else, and with Jesus and all that. Because when you think about it, when Satan and his armies went against God and all that and so forth, Satan and us went to change things, right? So us lot who believe in the divine and all that and God and all that and so forth, we are trying to restore peace. Think of it. The peace that the divine and all that had, the balance and all that and so forth. We're not trying to change things like Satan did and all that. No, we're trying to restore things. That's a difference. That's why some of you out there over the years have heard me say it's not a revolution we need, because that was Satan's way of doing things. Revolted against God. It's a restoration. Remember where we come from. Remember what we are. And that's why governments and the police and all that hate me. Because they're not about changing things or having a revolution or protesting and all that. Because really, it's the police that are protesting. It's the governments that are protesting. It's the satanic churches that are protesting, revolting against the true authorities out there, out in the vast cosmos and beyond and so forth. You know what I mean? Why does it feel like there's a mic drop coming? Don't worry, I'm not going to do a mic drop because I want to continue a few things. But first, I need to go to the loo. Hold on, guys. Somebody just sent me something. It's on Tik Tok. All right, think about it as well, right? What does this money system do? You know what I mean? And I bet you're right. A lot of you will go for the obvious ones, right? Like pay bills, this, that, and so forth, and all of that, right? Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Doesn't money exclude a lot of people? You know, think about it. We got people there that uses money to exclude others, and it's used to rough other people up. Yeah, I mean, think about it. That's why there's a word out there in the dictionary called mercenaries. Yeah, I mean, and everything else. So, if we sort of like follow a certain tribe system, right? Yeah, I mean, because look how many people in the UK and US of A. You know what I mean? I could look at China as well, but I'm just going to focus on the UK and US of A right now, right? And we have a housing problem, right? First things first, I mean, the problem, housing problem is a problem, but it's a symptom of something deeper, a lot deeper. Some of you will say, yeah, because government ain't doing this, the authorities not doing. No, it's authorities and government is also a symptom. Goes deeper than that again. Yeah, I mean, some people going, oh, wait a minute, where's he going with this? Yeah, I mean, even a police are a projection, a symptom to the deeper problem. Yeah, I'm doing psych 1-on-1 you guys right now, psychology on you all right now. The reason why we have police, governments, councils, and all this other stuff, because we haven't dealt with the shit within inside us on so many levels as a race. And some, yeah, I mean, we have a lot of trauma in here. Yeah, I mean, as some people say, there's DNA trauma, memory DNA trauma, and all that, and so on. Plus, we pass on the lies to the next generation and the next generation, and then we wonder why things don't change for the better for us all. Could we keep passing it on? We are lying to ourselves all the time. There'll be youngsters probably watching this video. Yeah, I mean, they go, whoa, a grown up actually telling the truth. Fuck. But anyway, have you noticed how each generation is being passed on the same old, like a cult on some level? That you must obey the massive herd that goes along with the governments and all that and so forth. And then we wonder why it's the same old rhetoric for the last 100, 200 years, especially in the UK. Because you keep lying to the next generation. You keep blackmailing people who think differently from you. You keep bullying those that think differently from you. You keep wanting people to be robbed from the state, from the government and all that, through the taxation processes, just like you. If you want true men and women to grow up to be responsible for themselves, then you got to kick government to the fucking curb. And you've got to stop the corporations trying to be the new fucking government. Let's get serious on this. Corporations and governments and all that and so forth are supposed to be small little things that are supposed to just do services, not rule your fucking lives. Got it? And now we're seeing a new cult forming, a new governance forming called scientism that is trying to take the place of the government that we know for the last 200 years and more in the UK. Okay? So we need to be real about these things. Okay? We can still have our communities. We can still have our coffee, biscuits, and all of that, and so forth. Still have our computers and all of that because the arseholes, the controlling people and all of that out there within the system and so forth, basically will tell you what we should just give everything up and go back to the dark ages and have no technology. And I'm like, are you really that stupid? No, we can give up the corruption that's going along with it. Yeah, there'll always be corrupt people out there, but we need to be lighthouses. And this is the thing I was thinking about the other day as well. Take note. Religious people, take note as well. People who follow Christ, take note as well. Researchers and all that, people speaking out, take note, right? Figure it this way, right? I mean, we that researching, speaking out, telling the truth and all of that and so forth, and exposing the corruption and all of that, I've asked yourself the question, why am I alone in this area? Why is so many people that are in the same thing are so far apart, around the world and all that and so forth? I'll give you the answer. It's not a perfect answer, but this is the way how I see it. Think of it this way: if all the beacons, all the truth sayers, the lighthouses and all that were in one spot and so forth, what would happen? It would just be that area getting warned, being shown what's in the darkness, what corruption and lies and deceits are in there. But if you got all those beacons, lighthouses all around the world, that means all the corruption, all the lies, deceits, and all that have got all these lighthouses exposing it. Not like the Lord of the Rings, where you see Pippin lighting the beacon and it then spreads far and wide, and then they all then go and take on the evil. That's why we are so far apart from each other, because we are shining beacons. Like now, I'm in Wales, and there'll be somebody in America looking into similar things as me. My beacon's to them, their beacon is to me. We're not alone, we're just far apart from one another. Beacon to beacon, trying to show the evil in the world. What's when having a light in one area and you're only showing that, then the rest of the world is then open to evil and they'll never know. Think of it. Sorry about that, guys. I got my tea coming. Ah, that hit. As I was saying that hit me again. Sorry. but but yeah, think about it. So when the police look at me and they think I'm alone, I tell them I'm not alone. Because the divine God has placed us in the right place and time to shine a light. Think about it. You could have one lighthouse here, another lighthouse here, shine the same way, and it's just a. But if you've got one lighthouse here, one lighthouse here, look at more apart, they're more lit. Think about it, and that's what we are. Yeah, I mean, and that's why I've seen so many people that research and investigate and all of that when they've quit and they stopped putting the thing out. And I'm like, why? It just means that beacon has died. It means evil can now go in the shadows and do its thing and notice. Think about it. So when a lot of you are going around saying, "Oh, you are conspiracy theorists, you're a tinfoil," because you don't hear many people speaking it, and you hear the majority of people speaking the lies and deceits and so forth, you're not doing the right thing. Think about it. Let's put it in building form. Lighthouse is a building, isn't it? Right? And yet we've got terrace houses, we've got fire brigades and all of that and so forth and everything else. You know what I mean? Fire houses and all of that. But yet a lighthouse is the only one that shines right across, and it's a tool of warning and to bring people in safely. Think about that. Well, a firehouse, yes, you have the fire brigade comes out and puts out the fire, but it's not used to warn people. It's used to house the fire trucks, and that's it. Got all the equipment and that and so forth, and then goes out and puts out the fire. But a lighthouse stands tall, spreads the light out across, spins around in a 360 thing, shining the light around, and then makes sure the ships don't crash into the rocks. And that's what a researcher is. The ones that are speaking out against the New World Order, speaking out against the synagogue of Satan and all that. Because we are saying, hey, we don't want you to go to hell. We want you to go to heaven. Think about that. And yet you demonize many of us. Let that sink in. Think of it. Those in Parliament. Yeah, I mean, they don't want you to get into heaven. You know, by their actions. The royal family don't want you to get into heaven by their actions. The news medias don't want you to get into heaven by their actions, by their fruit and all of that. The courts, by their actions, don't want you to get into heaven and so forth. You know what I mean? As well as those that have gone and killed people and all that and so forth. Right? Those that have attacked. You know what I mean? Of course, they should be in. But then you got those that, if they didn't defend themselves, they would be dead. But yet the court system has punished them for protecting themselves. You know what I mean? We've got the court system, that knows that the World Economic Forum and groups like that are making people homeless on purpose, right? They know that the banking cartels are deliberately making people homeless, through the mortgage fraud, and yet the judges, the solicitors, and all of them are going along with the housing fraud. So those people are not going to go to heaven. They are going to go to hell because they are not going to repent. They are not going to stop doing what they're doing because what they're doing is wrong. But hey, you got your health, haven't you? According to what happened in 2020 and onwards. Allegedly. For those that don't really know. Think of it. And I've noticed certain people have gone quiet. Oh, you know what I mean? The people that used to be in my face and all of that and so forth, despite I've forgiven them, they've gone very quiet. Hello. Hello?
Hi,
Hi.
is that Paula?
Who's speaking?
My name is Ayan and I'm calling you from Sky, Paula. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm
Wonderful, glad to know that.
I'm calling from Ocean. How are you?
I'm under the water, help me.
It is. You know what I mean? There's water around us and stuff like that. Water particles and all of that. Guys, that was a scammer. That was a scammer. And and the voice, if you listen to the voice carefully, that was not human. That was AI. That wasn't human. That didn't sound like a human voice. Paul, I'm under the water. Help me. That did not sound like a human voice. It could be. It could have been. But that didn't. That didn't sound like a human voice at all. Notice the as above, so below reference. When he said, "I'm from Sky," and I'm like, "I'm from the ocean." As above, so below. Anyway. I matched him for it, didn't I? That was so funny. Notice I didn't swear, I didn't tell him to bugger off or nothing. I was polite, courteous, and all I went was I just went, I'm from the ocean. That's kind of true as well, because figure it, we all are from the. I know I didn't say it's from. When I say I'm in the ocean, it is the word ocean. I look back what I said. I mean, make sure. I mean, but yeah, that was funny. Because I was thinking, I mean, because and it's basically yes, we got the ocean. That's like, I mean, you go to the edge sort of thing of a mountain, so and you can look out on the ocean that way. But also, I know there's like a lot of water particles and all that above us and stuff like that. And because so many water particles up there, I call that the ocean as well. You know what I mean? So, and I mean, I have fun with it as well. I'm like walking through the day. I'm like, today I'm on the land walking through less dense ocean. You know what I mean? And then if I ever end up in the ocean, where they hopefully not, because yeah, I mean, I'm not that strong a swimmer. You know what I mean? Hope not. You know what I mean? But if I'm on a boat or something, I'm like, I'm in the ocean that way. But yeah, but I had so many quick answers for him and all that. You know what I mean? I was gonna say, I mean, right now I'm about to go driving in my car. I don't have a car. Well, I mean, it's a computer chair. and and I'm about to jump on a computer game and play that sort of thing. You know what I mean? I had so many answers for him, and one I've used in the past as well. Um, I mean, they've like contacted me and they've gone. We're from so and so. We're here to talk about your computer and all of that. And I quickly, used my answer and went, "What? You can actually? I've gotten a vegetable I used and so forth." I mentioned the vegetable and all that. And I said, "Oh, cool! You can help me with this, computer. I mean, I can't seem to get it working. Uh, it's uh, it's this vegetable. I've got the name of it, but I'm like going through them. I mean, I think what was it cabbage or something? Anyway. So I'm like telling them all this, and the person's like, "Oh, duh," basically like that, because I'm, I mean, I'm in the ocean right now and all that, or where it was, what I said to them. So quick, I can't even remember what I said. And then he's like, "What was it? Oh, help me, Paul! I'm in the ocean." I'm like, "Huh." I didn't, and then it or him hangs up, sort of thing. Cause that did sound like AI. I mean, that did sound like AI, and I'm like, "Huh, okay." It's not funny though. I mean, I'm in the middle of doing this, and the Bible does teach as well that demons try to distract you, to try to. And it's funny how I was talking about lighthouses, isn't it, guys? Lighthouses shining a light on evil, and then a scammer then tried to scam me while I'm live. You know what I mean? And all of that and so forth. And it's like, Hmm, I'm gonna have fun with this. I was expecting to be on for at least 10 minutes, having fun with the scammer, but I mean, but because whatever it was, it could be human, it could be demonic, it could be AI or whatever phoned me then. And the number is, guys, hold on, the number, bling, is 0800 761 3372. So if you see that number, block them. But that's interesting. Can I block on his phone? What I should do is phone back and go, "Hi, cutie. You left so soon." No, I better not. I'm from Sky. Really? Do you notice I didn't say yes, I'm Paul, or no, I'm Paul? Notice that? And yet he just carried on, assuming. That's what most people are like, isn't it? They just assume. They don't question. They don't. They just go along, and that's why we're in the mess we're in now. That phone call has actually brought a teachable moment, hasn't it? Yeah, how he thought, oh, I go in, I can scam this person, get some money out of them, and I'm just like, hello. If I knew that was going to be a scammer and so forth, I should have done this voice. I answer, then he goes, hello there, and then I should have gone, oh, hello. You've come to play, have you? I, mean, I should have done that, but then again, I think I handled that call pretty well, to be honest. You know what I mean? Deflected the demonic energy. You know what I mean? That wanted to scam me. You know what I mean? And I think as well, guys, I'm looking for another t-shirt company that I want to put my designs on as well. I'm always looking to improve. But don't get me wrong. This cup I'm using now, guys, is from Spreadshirt, and God, and I've had this now. I bought this when my mum was alive. I've still got it, and the handle hasn't come off or anything like that. So, the lid is in the kitchen somewhere. I don't know where I've lost it in the kitchen. You know what I mean? But yeah, I've had this now for a long, long time. You know what I mean? And it's one of my designs. It's got like, we don't need permission from governments to defend ourselves. So yeah, so I do buy my own products, guys. You know what I mean? So this one here as well. It's not one I designed. You know what I mean? deaduk.info. So yeah, and the thing as well, I said, as you guys heard me this morning, those who didn't listen to the other live stream, basically, I've always said from the very beginning that me and the landlord should have gone to housing options together and said, hey, this is what's going to be happening. This needs to be done. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, people have this divide mentality in their head. The them and us attitude. Well, I'm not like that. I'm not into this like them and us attitude because there's evil in the world anyway. You know what I mean? And and we've got to stop it. Plain and simple. You know what I mean? That's why I said to one of the people from Swansea Council, when he asked me my name and so forth, the name is for the legal system and all of that for them to use. I'm not for the system. I'm for the divine. So when I said I'm God's servant, that you know what I mean, I did notice in his voice he was a bit like, oh. You know what I mean? I did hear that, but anyway, as Zionism is now the synagogue of Satan sort of thing. This is why I created this top, guys. You know what I mean? Warriors fight Zionism for freedom. And do you know, a certain lady that I'm speaking to did the pose for that. Not especially for me. I said, "Hey, can I use the picture and all of that?" And she said, "Yeah," because it's one of her old pictures, and that is Maram. And where she's sitting, I mean, is she sitting or standing? Actually got a couple multiple pictures now. One of them she's standing, and one she's kneeling, sort of thing. And I've got that one, and that's the kneeling one, and I just like blacked it out, and put it into like a silhouette, and that's warriors fight Zionism for freedom. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I know it says UK, but there, guys, I know it says UK. It's not just for the UK, by the way, guys. It's not just for the UK. And and I am trying to put like more designs together. And Paul Davis and all of them are trying to spoil that. Hmm. And the thing is, I'm going to send this to thing later. I'm going to say, why are people trying to ruin my job? So yeah, guys, this is the Australian one. This is Roy Will's myspreadshot.com.au for you guys in Australia. So yeah, I mean, this is a new one of mine. Oh yeah, I deleted that off. I need to get rid of that. I need to go in and yeah, because I looked at the design of it and I was like, wait a minute, I don't like that now. Yeah, it wasn't for fact like oh, leave it up. Maybe people will buy it, and I'm like, you know what? I want to create something better than that. I do want a way of cults design, but I mean, I want to put some better nobility wars, guys. The New World Order versus the Old World Order. Remember in the Outer Limits, and you had the opening of that saying it's about the horizontal and the vertical type thing and all that. So I did a bit of research into that. You know what I mean? Not into the Outer Limits, why they said the horizontal and vertical, but I was listening to a video on BitChute, and they mentioned about the horizontal and the vertical linking to the nobility wars and all that. So I did my own deep dive into it a little bit, you know what I mean? And and then I was like, oh, okay, so the horizontal and vertical are actually about these nobility wars and all that. Interesting. I mean, so I thought might as well create a top and you know what I mean, nobility wars. The NWO versus the OWO, and so there's that. You know what I mean, we might as well go in and look at some stuff. So I've done that. You know what I mean, then it's small because text. You know what I mean, for that, because I didn't want it like blazing out like large across the thing. Because we know what the police are like and so forth. They're looking for people like designs that stand out a mile and odd. You know what I mean, so I kept it small, so the person would have to get like right up close to read it and all that. And that means 9 out of 10 times the authorities will just walk on by. You know what I mean? And that gives you a chance then to speak to people and you know what I mean, and educate people and all that before the authorities come. There's even stickers as well. I gotta be honest, the economy of Australia was it for every pound. Last time I checked, it was like um 50p. It was like half to what the British pound is. You know what I mean? I was like, damn. You know what I mean? Also, I've got this for America as well. So if I do this, take out the EU, and then you've got the American side as well. There you go. You know what I mean? So people are like, huh? Because when that, it caught me off guard. This did, to be honest. When I was sort of like looking into it and learning how to set up the store. I mean, you got the .com up there now instead of .eu, and this one freaks the authorities out in my neck of the woods. Deaf as a doorway. My one is white writing across. You know what I mean? My one I got is actually the old design. This is the new one. You know, and and the police have come up to me and they said, to me, "Are you trying to commit suicide?" I'm like, "No, it's a philosophy message." You know what I mean? For every new beginning, the old way's got to die, sort of thing, and all that. You know what I mean? And each chapter and all that. You know what I mean? So when one chapter ends, a new chapter begins. You know, all that. So death is a doorway. I mean, it's like really building things, now. And if something that's like an abandoned building and it's decayed, it's the electrics are dodgy and all that, then you get rid of it and you build something new. So something old's die for something new to begin. You know what I mean? And and the police now like, oh, so when people say death, it's not a bad thing. No, no, no. You need to listen properly and hear the context and the content. It's how things now. It's just like you say a word these days, and people think it's just that. You know what I mean? And it's not. And I mean, so it's like saying, I mean, like, a knife is just a weapon. Yeah, I mean, despite it has many other usage, you know what I mean? And that's why we've got to look at the intent always, you know what I mean? Which the legal system and the police, unfortunately, have thrown out the window because they think, yeah, I mean, having a knife on you and all that and so forth is intent to cause harm. Right, and let's play devil's advocate, shall we? So, in a police mindset, right, a legal mindset, when you all are using a knife and cutting a tomato, you're causing harm to a tomato. Think about it. You know what I mean? Despite there are idiots out there that will use a knife to kill somebody, but also we got to be mature enough to say, hey, I mean, not everybody will have a knife on them to kill everybody. Think about it. I bet you there's many, there's many couples out there that have sat down to dinner and probably thought about killing the partner in front of them. And guess what? While they're having dinner, they got knives and forks and all that in their hands. So if the knife is a weapon, then why haven't those couples then, every single couple, why haven't they killed each other yet? Why haven't we had a 100% death rate in couples? I mean, dating or married. Yeah. So the argument falls flat when you truly start thinking about it. You know what I mean? Or you're sitting around with family and all of that, and you're having food together and everything. If a knife is just a weapon, and people are supposed to automatically kill when the knife is in their hand, then why then we haven't got this higher rate of mortality then? Why haven't all families died then? Yeah. So it's not the knife that goes around killing and all of that and so forth. At the end of the day, a knife is just an object. You know what I mean? Like a car, you know what I mean? Like a van, like a plane, like a TV set, like a fan and all of that. All can be used to kill somebody, right? That's why we should always and only look at the intent of what they're going to use that object for. And that's why when I do my research, I look at the intent as well. There'll be a few police officers there, you know what I mean, that have told me to carry on doing, doing. Good. True bloody right. We need to look at the intent as well. And maybe most of the other officers be like, he's showing us up, the bastard. Get him. And the ones that I'm friendly with go, see, he's got his sense of humour still. But yeah, I think that's why I can tell the ones that are like, the ones that listen to my stuff because they're like, yeah, yeah. I mean, if I go through a bad patch and all of that, they come up to me and they say, "Hey, Paul, how's it going?" and all of that. You know what I mean? No, we could help you, not properly and all that. Not like some of the other idiots. You know what I mean? Sort of thing. And they do check as well. Now I've asked some of the others, hey, if you go and by, knock on the door and say and do a check. You know what I mean? Just make sure. But yeah, and then you got the others there, and who just like idiots and so forth. You know what I mean? Because all I want, you know what I mean, it's for people to die naturally. Can you imagine that now? I mean, there'll be a lot of people like die. Oh, you know the ones like, huh, oh, huh, oh. Almost like a GIF in a or a GIF. Or, you know what I mean, let's start that debate again. What is it, guys? Is it a GIF or a GIF? Anyway, so but anyway, it's like, anyway, but anyway. Also, as well, I mean, I did notice yesterday as well, guys. I did notice yesterday. I'm thinking of doing a quick video, maybe tonight, say about 8 o'clock tonight, UK time. I'm going to talk a little bit about the local lives chat. You know, I was watching local live. You know what I mean, and I got to agree with Boogie and also Turby. Right, I, you guys can tell I watched it because Boogie said Turby last night instead of Turbo. I pissed myself laughing when I heard that. You know what I mean? For me, it was. I mean, it was like between 11 and 1 a.m. coming from the UK, and I'm sitting here. You know what I mean? And I couldn't laugh outwards. You know what I mean? Because the walls are thin, so I had to laugh inwards, and I was like, "Okay, that's funny." But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. You know what I mean? So I need to do a bit of talking about the local live chat because I do agree of what Boogie 298 said and Turbo and I was about the chat. I mean, I'll say a little bit now. You know what I mean? Yes, I mean, when people come to channel and all that and so forth, viewers have got to say if you succeed or not and all that and so forth. But you can't let people dictate what you do 100%. You know what I mean? Reason why I say 100%, you don't let them dictate to you 100%, is this. Because people come to you and they like your stuff and all that because you've brought something that they like because you've created it, you've done it, and all that, and so forth. So therefore, keep doing what you're doing, but also keep an eye on what works and what doesn't work as well. Yeah, I mean, so there's that the symbiont relationship. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, all right, this works and all that. I'll do this, and and then like, okay, the people watch me and all that. Okay, they don't like this little bit and so forth. You know what I mean? And even yourself could have been like, what I mean, okay, will that work or not? But then sometimes the viewer and all of that, that's your followers or whatever, can give you that heads up, but well, saying, hey, what I mean, this doesn't work and all of that, and I mean, I can see what you're trying to do, but go this way with it and see if it works for you that way, and then you go off and you try it, and so it's then over time, not always, your channel and with some of the people that you know, what I mean, start off that comes in channel starts off as strangers, you might become friends and whatever and so forth, and then you know, what I mean, because they've been not negative critical, but they've been a good level of criticism. You know what I mean? Where you can, you know, take the criticism and then you build on it. You know what I mean? Say, hey, okay, so this didn't work, but I needed to go this way instead of it. Okay, fair enough. And you do that sort of thing. You know what I mean? And I think that's where, you know what I mean, a lot of people think when you criticize them these days, you notice how a lot of people go, oh, how dare you criticize me? And I'm like, I've been criticized to the moon and back since you know since I was a child, and I'm like, hey, if people can criticize me, then they can criticize you. Then again, if people can criticize Jesus and God, then they can criticize you. If people can criticize the devil, who thought I was going to play that was criticize the devil, they can criticize you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just one of those things, you know. Like I said, I've been criticized to the moon and back, and and that's why I can criticize people because I've been criticized left, right, and center. You know what I mean? And and the thing is, well, because I take the piss out of myself, and I've had people take the piss out of me, that means I can take the piss out of them. You know what I mean, so because people take the piss out of me first, then that gives me the go ahead. To go, time to walk over that line again and again and again. and the thing is, as well, and the thing is, as well, when you sort of like got like an, you know what I mean, cultures, you know, bantering back and forth and got one another and so forth, then that gives me the way in where I can joke about everything. And yes, you guys have heard me say that N word as well. You know what I mean? I don't need to use it today because I'm not doing it in a context or history format. So I'm not going to be using it today because I don't need it. But there will be days I will need to use it in a historic form. See what I mean? Notice, like I always say, always in context. You know what I mean? And also the C word, crackers, as well. I mean, and I've ordered some of those for Monday as well. I'm going to eat them. They're going to be lovely. But anyway, so, but that's the thing. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons why this world is fucked. We don't see things in its proper context no more. That is one of the reasons why things are the way they are. There's too much lies going on. And AI was only brought out, guys, end of the day, because not to help people or anything, despite it does have its benefits in certain areas. But the main goal of AI, end of the day, as many of ours have mentioned, I mean, I mentioned it on my speaker.com before they took away the live option. I like doing things live, you know what I mean? But I mean, I will do videos where I will upload them as well. You know what I mean? But I do doing things live. I think it's more fun that way. And if a mistake happens, it's funny. Anyway, and so, but what I've noticed more than anything, guys, with what's going on today and all that people don't want to see what's really going on. Think about it. With AI and all that, it was only brought about to muddy the waters of those exposing the establishment, exposing the PDFs in the upper echelons. It was only there to get people, end of the day, not to believe in anything. That's that's who, I mean, the circles I go in, that I'm in, we've all said this. I mean, where you've noticed I'm not like one of these people. I mean, that we've viewed in the past. I mean, where they've gone, I am the tip of the spear. I'm number one. I'm the only one that brings you this. I'm like, for flip's sake, shut up. I mean, I'm like that. You know what I mean? I mean, when this work isn't about taking credit or nothing like that. If anybody goes round, trying to take credit, you know what I mean, then they're stupid. Why would you take credit for stuff that causes harm and all that? Think about it. You know what I mean? So when you see people saying, well, I'm the first to bring you this, and this, that, and so forth, and I'm like, you've got a child's mindset. Because how many times, people you've listened to me in the past, I mean, on other platforms and so forth, and on my other channel before it got deleted. I mean, where I've gone, I mean, myself and others. That's not me going, I'm the first, and, blah, 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 and that's almost like, I feel, to me personally, right? Yeah, I mean, some we may agree or disagree, and I mean, I don't know. Some of you may not even give a shit. I mean, but it is when I hear somebody going, "Oh, I'm the first and all of that and so forth." To me, they sound like cult leaders. You know what I mean, where they go, I'm the only way and so forth. I had the vision. I had this, and then I'm like, oh lordy lord, that person needs Jesus. You know what I mean? So you're the first, eh? Okay. Can you prove that, by the way? What do you mean? Can you prove you're the first in all this information and so forth? You know what I mean? Like today, we're supposed to have 8 billion people on the planet. You know what I mean? Plus, you look into history, go back, years after years after years, centuries after centuries, millenniums after millennia. And how can you say you're the first so proudly and all of that? You know what I mean? We do not know. They could have had this technology like 3 million years ago. It got destroyed, buried, decayed, then you know what I mean? And future generations then don't even know that they could have had the internet all those years ago and so forth. They could have had web cameras or crystal cams or whatever. And that would have been cool. Yeah, crystal cams, you know what I mean? All different edges around the side. You had multiple ways then of doing that would be pretty cool. Anyway. Sorry guys. My brain just went poof, and then had this image of a crystal with multiple ways of doing camera work and all that. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And you had the light shining through the spectrums going spectrum of lights. And wherever the light goes, that's what you film in. Anyway, enough of that. So just me doing like improv. I got an idea. Anyway, I have to look into that. Anyway, so crystal cams. Grow your camera. Anyway, sorry. You know how some crystals, form and all that and so forth, and they look and they grow and all that. Well, some say they grow and all that. You know what I mean, and they get bigger and so forth. Can you imagine you could have something like that? It just grows on its own, and then you have like, hmm. Anyway, let's get away from that. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, and this person, yeah, I mean, it's just like, what are you saying? I'm not the first. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you could be the first, but at the same time, you could not be the first. So we need to find out if you are the first in the first place. Uh, I hate the way you're making my mind go to jelly. Okay, but you can see my point, though. Excuse me, you can see my point, though, can you? Oh shit! I've turned that one into a vegetable. Hello, mental health team. Yeah, got somebody here that's lost all their faculties. They've been brain fried, and yeah, they need to go into a mental asylum or something to be looked after. How did it happen? Oh, they were thinking. Okay, we'll be there soon. But anyway, so yeah, so there's that. You know what I mean? And that's why, and I was saying, I'm the first. You might have somebody like me come up to you and go, "Are you sure you're the first?" I don't want to be turned into a vegetable. Anyway, so yeah. And the thing is, I'm always thinking, and even at night as well before I go to sleep, there's certain things throughout the day. The brain goes, as I'm about to go to sleep, it goes, I don't think you're thinking enough. Then extra, ideas come in and that, and I'm like, oh god, I want to go to sleep now. Nope, you've been thinking all day. You're used to it. Get used. So we're going to give you some more to work out. But I'm going to be knackered tomorrow. Don't care. This is your brain speaking. Are you staying awake? Thank fuck I'm not. I'm not a host in the local universe. I mean, me, I could never do the punishments. Heck no. I'd be too busy improvising. We want you to go here, and I'm going. This little ducky, quack quack quack, goes into a army store, picks up a gun, goes back to the duck hunters club, and shoots them all down. Anyway, so how long have I been going for? An hour and 40 minutes. There you go, an hour and 40 minutes. I better go and speak with the lovely lady because she did respond to me again. Whoops. And that was about 10 days ago now. Well, for her, it would have felt like 10 days ago. She said, "My darling husband, can you chat again? He's not around. I wish I can make it this night." Mm. And the thing is, as well, I mean, here's the thing, guys, right? If you all truly believe in heaven and all that and so forth, why do you keep paying taxes? Because you're funding evil people. Just saying. I mean, guys, as I've been going for about an hour and 40 minutes, I want to pop to the shops, you know what I mean, and get like a pack of biscuits or something. Sorry, shop. I used that word wrong, didn't I? Yes, you did. So shop. Mm-hmm. I'm going to just one, so I need to go to a shop, not shops, shop. See, I take the piss up myself. You know what I mean? Because you can tell when somebody doesn't give a shit when they take the piss out themselves. You know what I mean? And I think I still got it as well, guys. I think I've still got the AI companion thing. You know what I mean? I think I can still use that. I think I still got some credit left on that. So we could do some stuff with the AI, tonight or tomorrow morning. If you guys want me to do that, right? I mean, maybe we should do like a donation thing. I mean, you guys, pop across to buymeacoffee.com, and I mean, was it backward slash or forward slash? Or was it? Let me check. Let me check. I don't want you guys going the wrong way. Heck no. Buy me a coffee. No, I'm looking out for you guys. Oops, no, that. Because the last thing I'm going to do is send you guys to, an adult site or whatever. You know what I mean? Because we've got to stay away from things like that. You know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, when I'm going past, I mean, somebody and I'm like, oh, they're sexy. I mean, and I've got like tell my mind. I mean, no, got to keep it clean. Come on. because everybody still has dark thoughts and all that and everything else. We just got to be on guard. You just got to be honest and truthful with oneself. You know what I mean? When you see and the flesh goes, "Whoa," you know what I mean? You've got to go, no, from four to no. You know what I mean? Sorry, that's funny, isn't it? Oh, no. And especially when you're with somebody as well, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You can't be allow decline that, please, thank you. I mean, you can't be so you with somebody and all of that and everything, and then be like, "Whoa, look at the ass on that," and then she goes, "I didn't know you were into blokes." Oh, sorry. But you get the point, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hey, I took the piss out myself again, you know what I mean? But yeah, and the thing is as well, yeah, I mean, and also as well, I've been looking further into where it talks about the sexual intercourse is the thing that before we had the registry and all that and so on. That was the way you got married. You know what I mean. So in other words, once you sort of like got in there, sort of thing, and that I mean you become married, because the you both become one in that, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And the Bible talks about that. And also, the father, yeah, I mean, is where you get the consent from, and as well on one level, and so on. I'm like, that's interesting. And when I was like, watching, it's the talk with Tidwell. I mean, check out the, yeah, I mean, he does the synagogue of Satan stuff and all that, and And so when I was like listening to that and so forth, I was thinking, what if the family member's dead and all of that? Then who does the person go to then to get the male side of the consent and all that? You know what I mean? Which, you know what I mean? And so I'm looking further into that and everything else. I think it, you know what I mean? It then just comes naturally down then between you, you know what I mean, the person you're with, and then sorry, not then. The person you're with and yourself and the divine in that moment. Then, you know what I mean. So yeah, but because we as people have confused a lot of things and we've got off the path in a lot of areas. You know what I mean. I mean that's why we've got to not restore everything. I mean, because there are some things in history that are like, no, no, thank you, keep it away. But from before the fallen, we got to ask ourselves what was before all of that, and why was that fallen in the first place, and this and everything else, and what's beyond that made things become from one to two, sort of thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll keep deep diving and stuff like that. And but anyway, as you guys can see, you know what I mean? This is the Buy Me a Coffee account. It is up and running. You know what I mean? I've had a couple of you know, I mean, I don't put it out there that often. That's why I haven't got that many supporters supporting, you know what I mean? But because I'm so busy just researching and you know what I mean? And then I spend time just drawing and stuff like that as well. So, oops, not that. And I am on TikTok as well, guys. I'm over there as well. So I do want to do like different challenges with the food as well, but I haven't got them. You know, I mean, like now I've only got like a pound to go and see if there's any cheap bread going. Because the other day they had bread going for like 40p and stuff like that. So I'm going to see if they got that. But I really would like to. There's some challenges I want to do. You know what I mean? I know I got money coming on Monday, so I've put in my shopping for that. But there are challenges that I want to do. You know what I mean? Because I'm playing it safe with the food I got coming on Monday. I'm making sure I got food that I know I'm going to eat and all that. But you know what I mean? I think I have got one spicy food that I want to try as well amongst my shopping. So I might do a video of that. But I can't do like overly hot stuff because of the you know what I mean the ticker. But there is some hot stuff I'm willing to eat and all that still. You know, 'cause I do love my spicy stuff. You know, what I mean, I love it. Then again, you know, I mean, if some of you were over on my Twitch about a year and a half ago, you know what I mean, and I had those bean baboozle spicy ones, the hot flavored ones. You lot would have seen me instead of spinning the thing. I just like had the packet in front of me and just went like, yum yum, and just kept eating them while playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 sort of thing. And one of you went like this. Excuse me, what are you eating? I noticed you threw a box to one side, and I'm like, oh yeah, these are the hot flavor bean boozle stuff. Wait, what? I mean, and I showed up the packet, half had gone. And and they said, "Where's your drink?" Oh, it's back here. Wait, you haven't taken a sip of it though? I'm like, no, I'm just loving these beans too much. Oh, don't get me wrong. They were, you know, I mean, it was stinging, and you know, some of them were like stinging in the back of my throat when I was eating them. I was like, I was like, playing. I was like to myself. Now, this is what I'm saying to myself mentally, right? That stings. That stings a bit. And I could feel from here to around the side, my tongue was like, "Can you please stop? Can you please stop eating those beans, please, please?" And I'm just going, I'm playing World War Three, just eating the beans. Like, right, I need to shoot that guy. I need to, my tongue's going, "Please stop." You know what I mean? Back my throat's going, "Yeah, please stop." My stubbornness going, "Nope, I'm enjoying these." But I would never do that again. No, eating 60 of those, yeah, they definitely did not do any good for me. But, yeah, was it 60 of them or was it 50 of them? As you guys know, there's a lot in them. You know what I mean? And as you know, you got the Carolina Reaper, you got the jalapeno, and the what is it, the citron, whatever it's called, and you get like 5 different ones in there, guys. And I'm just eating away, and I'm like, afterwards, I'm thinking, in a few hours, it's going to be interesting. You know, after I finish that live stream, I'm like, yep, in a few hours, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now it's the toilet. But yeah, but even though it's like we say, okay, going to the toilet's going to be interesting, and then what we do then, like a week later or whatever, yeah, we go off and buy more spicy stuff, don't we? We're going to have a curry or we're going to have this. And it's almost like drinking alcohol in some cases, isn't there? But instead of a headache, you have an arse burn instead. You know what I mean? But we never go, oh, I'm never doing that again. You know what I mean? We don't do it for spicy foods to protect our anal passage, do we? We just go, and then and now we go goes by. You think to yourself, you know what? I'm gonna have a nice bindaloo or something like that. You know what I mean? Or madras or whatever. You know what I mean? We don't go, oh, never again. And the asshole's going, oh, for Christ's sake, he's having one of them again, isn't he? Bastard. Or, oh, she's got one of those. Oh, fucking hell. You're eating it, but I'm going to be stinging of it. And my and my mouth's going to be hot, 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 hot. I just realised I just giving you guys an image of the arsehole spilling up the shit and the arse going, that is some hot stuff you've had tonight, boy. Oh, God. Can you please not make me the ring of fire ever again? But anyway, you guys take care now and have a lovely day and all that. Thanks. Leave us on a shit note, don't you?
Anybody there? Anybody there? Is anybody there? Is anybody there? Sun is a white hole. Grass feels like cold.